I wave a magic wand. I say, you can have whoever you want. Who's the first guy you want?
Devin Haney. He has the belts at 135. I want those belts.
That was the voice of Raven Muratalla, one of the talented fighters in a star-studded division of 135. He is currently 19-0 with 16 knockouts, with a great performance knocking out Edgar Torres last night. Now he said he wants Devin Haney next, but Devin Haney's at 140, but there are other options. Some boxing fan on Twitter says Muratalla should go and fight Gervonta Davis, but Muratalla clearly said he wants to fight someone with titles. This guy's suggestion was, why doesn't Muratalla fight Tank Davis? And Robert Garcia came with the perfect answer, or perfect question. What's the rehydration clause? What gloves are we going to be forced to use? Will we have to fight Tank Davis with one arm behind our back? And that is basically what it is. I mean, people want to call Tank Davis the best at 135, but can Tank Davis fight one of these guys without rehydration clauses and forcing them, to do certain things because he's quote-unquote the A side? But if you're the best, why don't you fight the guy straight up? Now, my suggestion, I think Muratalla should fight the winner of the Dallas Santos-Stevenson fight. The thing is, I don't know why Devin Haney has not vacated those belts. He's not coming back to 140. But clearly, this kid has his head on straight. He wants to be a world champion. He wants titles. And he knows Tank Davis and his crew do not want him fighting risky fights like him. The only fighters they seem like they're interested in at 135 is fighters like Isaac Cruz. If not Isaac Cruz, they want to bring up a 122-pounder like Inoue and fight him. Me personally, if Muratalla cannot get a title shot, I would like to see him against a Jermaine Ortiz or a Lomachenko. And the rumor is that Lomachenko is going to fight Kambosos next. And after that, hopefully the IBF belt is vacant and Muratalla and Lomachenko could fight for that. We'll see what happens down the line. But definitely, it seems like Muratalla is on the come up. Now, BoxRec has named Canelo Alvarez the best 168-pounder of all time, over Joe Calzaghe, over Andre Ward, Roy Jones, James Toney, you name it, the best out of all of them. Now, it's hard for me to say that, and I know Andre Ward didn't like it because he's blocked a couple of people on Twitter. He didn't like this list. But it's hard for me to say who's better than who. I mean, when you talk about James Toney and Roy Jones, they fought in the 90s. I thought the competition in boxing was better, a little watered down now. And of course, Andre Ward, Joe Calzaghe, fighters like that, they retired undefeated, and they say Canelo got a couple of blemishes on his record. But I will say this about Canelo. At 168, he's the more accomplished. He's undisputed at 168, something that Andre Ward, Joe Calzaghe, James Toney, Roy Jones did not do. Not saying that in a fantasy fight, Canelo would beat those guys, because James Toney and Roy Jones were natural 168-pounders. Remember, Canelo Alvarez started at 140, 147, which makes his feat more impressive. And another thing is, it's not over for Canelo, because Canelo says he wants to fight for 4 or 5 more years. And some people right now don't even think he's best at 168 until he beats David Benavidez, or some people call him the Mexican Monster if he gets past Demetrius Andrade. And I know BoxRec is not the most credible list out there, but it did bring up a discussion. Is Canelo the best 168-pounder of all time? And if he's not, what does he have to do to be the best 168-pounder of all time? Leave your thoughts in comments below. Jay Beezy, I'm gone.